Do you ever find yourself lying in the dark, staring at the ceiling, wondering why you feel so empty, even after giving her everything? You kissed her skin like it was sacred. You touched her body like it held the key to your salvation. You licked her soul through her thighs and gave her pleasure that made her legs shake, thinking maybe this would be enough for her to finally see you, to finally choose you. But she didn't. She walked. Or worse, she stayed but never really felt you. And now you're sitting with this ache, not just between your legs, but deeper in your chest. Because you realized no amount of pleasing a woman will ever fill the void of a man who doesn't know his worth. See, it's not the licking that makes you weak. It's when you trade your masculinity for the illusion of love. It's when you confuse sexual submission with emotional intimacy. When you believe being good in bed is the currency of connection. But let me ask you this. King, what is the worth of your tongue if your words don't carry truth? What's the value of your touch if your soul is starving for validation? This is not about sex. This is about men who bleed silently, trying to earn love with their bodies when what they crave. It is to be seen, heard, and respected. This message isn't to shame you. It's to awaken you. Because there's a difference between being her toy and being her truth. You thought you were close to her, didn't you? You lie in her bed. You kissed her collarbone. You touched the parts of her body only meant for those she trusted. You thought access meant connection. You mistook being inside her for being invited into her. But here's the truth, the one nobody wants to tell you: when you're young and love-drunk, a woman can open her legs and still keep her heart locked away. She can moan your name and still not know your soul. She can let your body fill her, without ever letting your presence matter. And that realization breaks something in a man. Because we're told by media, by music, by the streets, that sex means something. That if she gives it to you, you've earned a place. That if she curls into you after, breathless and warm, that it must mean you're hers. But often, you're not. You're just a moment. You're just noise drowning out her emptiness. You're comfort in a storm she hasn't invited you to understand. And it hurts, because you weren't just there for her body. You wanted to be her safe place. You wanted to be chosen. And maybe you gave her more than she asked for. You gave her patience. You gave her softness. You gave her attention that even you didn't give yourself. You brought your whole self to a woman who only brought her surface. And now you're wondering why you feel used when you thought you were the one giving. But that's the catch. When a man gives emotionally to someone who's only giving physically, it's not love, it's self-abandonment. You ignored the signs, the delayed replies, the disengaged eyes, the absence of curiosity about who you are. She never asked about your childhood. She never remembered the little details. She never looked at you like you were a miracle, just like you were a moment. And still, you stayed because it felt like love. Because being wanted for your body was the closest thing to being wanted at all. But my brother, listen to me. You are not a tongue. You are not a tool. You are not a late night fantasy or a placeholder until her heart wakes up. You are a man, and you deserve to be let in. Not just into her bed, but into her heart, into her world, into her silence, into her softness when the makeup is off and the guard is down. And if she can't offer that, then don't keep breaking yourself to prove you're worthy of someone who doesn't even see you. She let you inside her. But if she never let you in, then you were never really there. You were just passing through a body that wasn't ready to make a home for your soul. There's a certain kind of man who doesn't just fall in love. He dives into it, head first. No parachute, no plan B. He loves with his chest cracked open, ribs spread wide, offering his heart like it's indestructible, even when it's not. And the world, especially women, say they want that man. Until they meet him. You see, you were the man who showed up with feelings. Not just flowers. You texted her good morning, not because you were trying to impress her, but because you meant it. You asked how she was doing and cared about the answer. You gave your time, your effort, your presence. And in return, you got ghosted, left on read, labeled too much, too emotional, too intense, too available. They loved your depth until it asked them to swim. And now you're sitting in silence, bleeding from a place nobody can see. Because when a man loves too deeply in a world built for shallow connections, he suffers. He becomes the guy who listens to her trauma, but never gets asked about his. He becomes the one who fixes her crown while his own hands are trembling. He carries her through her breakdowns, but falls alone when he breaks. And maybe now you've started to harden, started to shrink, started to believe that maybe love was never meant for men like you. Men with soft hearts and lion spirits. Men who weren't afraid to say, I miss you, or I need you, or I love you, without shame. But don't you dare kill that part of yourself to survive. Don't let heartbreak turn you into a man you were never meant to be. Colder, sharper, detached. That's not strength. That's armor. That's pain in disguise. You bleed because you feel. You feel because you care. And that is not your weakness. It is your edge. But hear me when I say this. Not every woman deserves the ocean in you. Some are just thirsty. And you are depth. You are storm and stillness. You are the man who could carry a family on his back, not just because you provide, but because you protect. Emotionally, spiritually. So yes, maybe you loved her too deeply. But that doesn't mean you were wrong. It just means she wasn't ready. And maybe she was never supposed to be. Keep your depth, but guard your blood. Because the right woman won't fear your soul. She'll honor it. And until then, let them call you too much. You weren't made for the shallow end anyway. Have you ever been in a room with her and felt completely invisible? Like you're sitting side by side, but miles apart. She's scrolling through her phone. She's nodding at your words, but not listening. Her lips say, I'm just tired, but her eyes don't look at you the same anymore. And you feel it, not all at once, but slowly, like the way warmth fades from coffee. Not sudden, just colder every day. Her silence isn't empty, it's loud. Louder than I love you used to be. Louder than the laughter you used to share. Louder than the moans she gave you when she still felt something real. Because silence in love is never neutral. It either means peace or goodbye. And I know you've been trying to justify it. Telling yourself maybe she's going through something. Maybe it's work. Maybe it's hormones. Maybe you're just overthinking it. But deep down, a man knows when he's no longer home. When he's become furniture instead of fire. When he's being tolerated, not treasured. And I'm not here to tell you to leave her. I'm not even here to tell you she's a villain. Sometimes people grow apart. Sometimes they stay out of guilt. Sometimes she doesn't even know she's hurting you because you've been so damn strong about it. You keep brushing it off like it's fine. But it's not fine, is it? It's not fine waking up beside someone who no longer reaches for you. It's not fine eating dinner in silence, pretending it's normal. It's not fine giving your love to someone who's already halfway gone. And the craziest part, you'd rather take her coldness than be alone. You'd rather stay in her silence than face your own. Because when a man loves deeply, he will shrink to stay loved. But you're not built to beg, my brother. You are not a placeholder for a woman who has already packed emotionally. You are not a convenience. You are a presence, a voice, a soul. And love should never make you feel like you're in a room full of ghosts, especially when the ghost is her sitting right across from you. So what do? You stop chasing echoes. You stop proving your worth to silence. You sit with yourself and ask the hard question, am I loved or just not left yet? And if the answer breaks your heart, let it. Because heartbreak is honest silence. Silence just delays the pain. And you've been in enough rooms where her silence screamed. Now it's time for your voice to rise, not to yell, not to hurt, but to choose you loudly. No one wants to say it out loud, but you've been using sex like medicine, not for pleasure, not for power, but for relief, a momentary escape from the ache you can't name, the ache that's been with you since before women ever touched your body. You think it's about her curves. You think it's about the thrill. But deep down, you're trying to fill the emptiness left by a man who was supposed to teach you what love feels like, and didn't. Your father, or maybe the man who was never won. Maybe he was absent. Maybe he was angry. Maybe he showed up physically, but left you starving emotionally. So now you chase validation through flesh. You perform. You please. You conquer. And every time it's over, there's a moment of silence where the darkness creeps in, and you feel more lost than before. Because what you want isn't sex. It's safety. It's acceptance. It's to hear you're enough without having to prove it with your body, your money, your grind, or your tongue. But no woman no matter how soft her lips, how deep her thighs, how loud her moans, can give you the father you never had. She can't raise the boy in you that was never told how to be a man. And yet, you keep trying. You turn your trauma into performance. You become the pleaser, the nice guy, the sexually available but emotionally starved man. And the world praises you for it. She's lucky to have you. You're different, but you're dying inside. Because being different means suppressing your truth to earn crumbs of connection. And what about the moments when it almost feels real? She looks into your eyes. She says she loves how gentle you are. You think, maybe this is it. But deep down, you don't trust it because you don't trust yourself. You don't know how to love without performance. You don't know how to receive love without needing to earn it. Because the first man you ever looked up to didn't teach you how. And brother, that's not your fault. But healing is your responsibility. It's time to stop looking for your father in women's bodies. It's time to stop hoping a moan will replace a missing hug. It's time to look at yourself in the mirror and say, I am worthy without sex. I am lovable without sacrifice. I am whole, even if he never taught me how to be. Because that boy inside you, he's still waiting, not for sex, for safety, for strength, for a man to finally say, you're enough, just as you are. And now, that man has to be you. You keep thinking that if you could just get her back, the H in your chest would stop. That if she'd text you, show up, apologize, reach for you again, all of this would finally make sense. But the truth is, it's not her absence that's killing you, it's yours. Somewhere between falling for her and losing her, you disappeared, piece by piece, smile by smile. You lost your hunger, your laughter, your light, and now you're sitting in the ruins, blaming her for a wound that was never hers to heal. You think it's love you lost. But what you lost was you. You were the man who showed up fully, who tried, who forgave, who compromised. You bent so far backward for love that you forgot how to stand up straight. You kept hoping she'd see your sacrifice and call it beautiful. But love, real love, doesn't demand your disappearance. She may have left, or maybe she stayed just long enough to drain you of yourself. Either way, the person you miss most is not her. It's the man you were before you needed her to complete you. The man who had vision, who had boundaries, who knew his value. But heartbreak distorts reality. It makes you believe she was oxygen when she was just a season. It makes you think healing is about getting her back, when healing is really about getting you back. You don't need closure from her. You don't need one last talk, one last kiss, one last memory. You need to come home to yourself, to the version of you that slept peacefully without wondering if he was enough, to the version of you who didn't shrink to fit inside someone else's comfort zone, to the version of you who didn't rely on someone's presence to feel worthy of love. You forgot how powerful you are, how divine, how irreplaceable. You forgot that your love is a gift, not a gamble. And now it's time to remember, not by chasing her, not by watching her stories, hoping to feel something, but by going silent long enough to hear yourself again. You don't need her back. You need the fire you lost trying to keep her warm. You need the dreams you buried just to be more available. You need the peace that doesn't depend on anyone's return. Because when you get back, that's when you stop chasing love and start attracting it. That's when you stop begging and start becoming. She was never the destination. She was just the detour that led you to the truth. You were the one you were always looking for. You did everything right. You opened doors. You listened when she cried. You stayed loyal. You stayed available. You stayed. And you thought that would be enough. That being a good man would earn you the kind of love you read about, dreamed about, bled for. But she still left, or she stayed distant. Or worse, she chose someone else. Someone who didn't try as hard. Someone who didn't text back fast. Someone who didn't carry her pain like you did. And now you're angry, not just at her, but in life. Because you followed the rules and still lost. Because you were taught that if you're kind, respectful, emotionally open, and consistent, you'll be chosen. But nobody told you the truth. Being a good man doesn't guarantee you a place in anyone's heart. Because love isn't about effort alone. It's about alignment. It's about desire. It's about timing. And sometimes it's about wounds you didn't cause, but still end up paying for. She didn't reject your goodness. She just didn't see you. Or maybe she wasn't ready for the version of love that didn't come with chaos. Maybe you reminded her of the peace she wasn't ready to feel, and so here you are, the good guy left behind, and you're tempted to change, to be colder, to be harder, to play games. You think maybe if you were less available, she'd have chased you. Maybe if you were more of an asshole, she'd have respected you. But don't do it, King. Don't let rejection turn you bitter. Don't let heartbreak convince you that softness is weakness. Don't become a man who stops giving just because someone couldn't receive you. Being good doesn't always get you chosen, but it gets you clear. It filters out those who can't love deeply. It exposes the ones who only want convenience, not commitment. Your value isn't measured by how many women choose you. It's measured by how real you stay in a world full of masks. Because one day the right woman will come. And to her, your goodness won't be boring. It'll be rare. It'll be everything. But even if she never shows up, you owe it to yourself to remain whole, not because it gets you picked, but because it's who you are. Let them chase the toxic. Let them glorify the emotionally unavailable. Let them call chaos passion. You stay grounded. You stay real. You stay you. Because being a good man may not always make you the most wanted, but it will make you the most needed in a world starving for truth. And eventually, you'll see being chosen by the wrong people means nothing. But choosing yourself, that changes everything. Brother, if you made it this far, it means you felt it. The weight, the silence, the confusion, the ache. You've loved too deeply. You've tried too hard. You've stayed too long in rooms that didn't see your worth. But I want you to know something real, something raw. There is nothing wrong with the way you love. Your depth isn't your flaw. Your softness isn't your weakness. Your willingness to feel, to stay, to show up, that is your superpower. But you've got to stop bleeding for people who never learned how to hold you. You've got to stop mistaking effort for alignment. You've got to stop believing you're only worthy when someone chooses you. Because the truth is, you were never made to chase love. You were made to embody it, to radiate it, to become the man that doesn't need to be picked because he walks with purpose, with peace, with a heart that no longer begs, but builds. So if she couldn't see you, that's okay. If they didn't value you, let them go. This is your moment to return to yourself, to heal, to rise, to evolve. Because the best love story you'll ever live, the one where you come home to yourself. If this message hits your soul, don't keep it to yourself. Drop a comment and tell me where you are in your journey. Share this with a brother who's still bleeding silently. And subscribe, because this space is for men who are done performing and ready to be real. Your heart matters here. And I see you. All of you. Let's grow together.